Good afternoon and you're welcome to my first video learning log. My name is Efrain and I'm studying for a Faculty of Civil Engineer. This is my first video and it is going to be difficult because it need to be in English and I'm nervous because I never did it. But well, let's do it. I began with my second practice of topography and I'm going to finish with the last one. Practice number 2. Lines on the field, parallel and perpendicular lines. The materials that we require from the practice was wick, steel tape measure from 30 meters, plumb, milestones, studs, stick, spray painting, hammer, and the transit book. The transit book is like a normal notebook, but you can put there the angles and the distance from construction or something same from the construction or topography. The materials and equipments that we really need in the practice was a wick, studs, 3 mirrors from steel tape metric, stone like a hammer because we don't have the hammer in the practice, and place of grip. Sorry. The objective of the practice was uh, make contact with various topographic devices, how to use the things that like transito, like like the meters, how to get the angles, and how to do from the lines be perpendicular and all the things from the construction to get a good distance and don't be a bad construction and all the things. And identify the types of the errors made in the measurements with the tape and correct all the things. The procedure: first we cut the score field the score field. Then we measure a distance of 20 meters in a straight line as we had marked as leaving the 20 meters. We went to voice some things like quick and where would look inside the campus. Once the necessary to meet the objectives of the practice start collecting in the measured straight line of 20 meters. The temperature, was like 70 grades centigrade. Notice that when you measure with the tape, long journeys are not as accurate, because there may be a variation in the catenary. If you measure between two or one person is more efficient that more people are placed in the internal section to tape so that there is more tension and you don't going to have a bad distance or bad distance, and you have a good tension in the tape and it's not going to be a catenary in the tape. I already draw the line made by triangle method 3, 4 and 5. It is like could be a Pythagorean method. We have a triangle with the distance 3 meters, 4 meters and 5 meters. Visualize the squat that took place and saw that it will look accurate. Then we draw a parallel line and realized that the other was little crooked and then had to make adjustment. And yes, we really have a bad medition because we don't did the triangles so very well. We don't um, we don't do the things to have a good triangles because when we began the first one we was only 2 persons because another's go to the store to buy a gear, and yeah, we'll do it so fast and we don't take the real the real security for this. Then with a parallel line realized and the other was a little crook and then had to make adjustment. By the end, because we spent 10 meters, we were talking about that went wrong and good and we conclude the practice. The conclusion was at the end of the practice we see that we made some very common mistakes that can be bad in a construction or land line, not very well measured of the angles of 90 degrees in the brackets, and so we left with totally parallel lines, but apparently if we fulfill the objective and instruments handled almost perfectly, if we'll fulfill the objectives and instruments handled almost perfectly, and yes, it was so difficult because it was the we don't use the things for get the angles, and we only use the tape and the wick, and yeah, it was so so tiring, a little boring because we don't know so very much how to do this. The third practice was the impressing Coquimaton South Campus parking. The materials given for practice was first steel tape measures 30 meters and the transit book. Um, I put the first because they need to tense the tape so very well because it was so long parts from this. The objectives for the practice was refining the use of the types because we need to be secure if we know how to use the tape so very well. Improve the way to get the angles of the edge and um, refining the use of the AutoCAD and, and how to do reports from topography. The procedure: first we form teams of 5 or 6 members. Sorry. When they are formed, teams retreat sound out of campus parking. Um, when we got to the parking lot, we start measuring the northern part of the parking lot and continue on the direction of clock side, and then we measure interior parking islands. We began the medition. It was so difficult because, how I said, it's so big parking. And the conclusions. At the end of the practice, we observe that it's not easy to measure regular fractionating because if you do the lifting thereof, measure all the angle as measured and try to exact a minimal margin of error marking margin of error because it had happened with the lifting wrong. We can finish the practice because the the psychology talked to my classmate, the we can say chief from the classroom, that we need to go with her because she was going to give us the class like a practice, and that's the reason that we don't finish it, but we need to do a drawing AutoCAD and a report from the practice. And yeah, it's so difficult because we don't finish it and we need the distance from the things. So, and this is all. Thank you for listening me and goodbye.